Hello, I'm Sandy Rogers. Welcome to the bi-weekly, I try my best, Ace Dog Blog. Today it is pouring down rain, and it has been raining for days, and it's going to keep raining for days. So I thought I would talk about things to do with your dog when it's miserable outside. And you're probably thinking, you've heard it all before, things you can do inside to entertain your dog and yourself. And I'm going to cover some of that, but I want to broaden your scope a little bit, if you'll allow me to. And that is to think about indoor training and indoor learning for you. So I believe that understanding dog training, understanding agility from the angle of you as a trainer, you as a competitor, and you as a handler, that's where my 3 hats program lives, can open some doors to some learning that you may want to pursue when it's raining outside. So I'm talking about investing in that online class or going back, even to prerequisites of those online classes. I find that a lot of students in my online classes want to keep up with the class, so they skip the prerequisites. And the prerequisites are the basics, like the hand in the collar and the dog understanding, catch up to heel, and I call that moving with engagement, where the dog has a clear understanding of when to be by your leg, whether you're moving or not. And learning how to teach those things, as well as teaching them indoors. That does happen to fall, I call that kitchen training, where I use my cabinets and then work from a sit stay or the dog on his anchor or mark tub to find my leg and to stick on my leg and then be sent back, and how to line up. So lineups are a perfect indoor, much needed for everyday life and agility behavior. But let me go back to other things that you can be learning in regards to being a better trainer. So taking those online courses, even if you can't do all of the parts outside, doing the parts that you can do inside, but letting the instructor's message really sink in, really watching the training techniques, the back chaining or the shaping, training videos that teach shaping and clicker training is what I'm talking about. Maybe that's something you're not so good at, and now would be a good time to go back and learn about it. Make it more about your education as a trainer than actually getting the training session in on the rainy day. Another activity I strongly recommend, it's on my brain because I've talked to some handlers about it, kind of my end of year pep talk, is making a list of the behaviors that you have. I just wrote about this. I've got a Beowulf article coming out about the subject of the article is a new approach to training that I've adopted recently. But the piece of it that I want to share with you now is about making a list of behaviors that you love, that your dog has, that you would like to see get stronger over time. The behaviors that you don't need to put your attention to. They're status quo, they're okay, you're maintaining them either because they're self-rewarding for the dog or you like them. The behaviors we like to train are the ones we focus on, and they usually aren't in trouble. And then the behaviors, and I'm talking about household stuff as well as agility stuff, that you would like to see less of in your near future, that you would like to maybe come up with a plan of action to address. And then spending that time on YouTube is one way, heaven help you. I go that route. But really researching, making those changes. Here's an idea on that same path, because I've had 4 or 5 students who haven't had a lesson now, and they, a week, and next week's not looking good either. So they booked online, and they shot the last one that I just did about an hour ago. She shot 3 40-minute videos of the 3 things I had her working on with her puppy: her anchor, her boomerang, and crate. So she shot these videos, and we looked at them, and I was able to piece by piece say, you'll get more value if you reward this more, or you're ready to change it up to that, or don't forget, send, recall, run by with all your drills. And so booking an online session with your regular instructor. Honestly, your regular instructor could probably use the income. We do go a little bit broke when it's raining. And what a better time. We all know how to use Zoom now. Your instructors know how to use Zoom. Reach out. Can we talk about my goals for next year? You're always telling me I'm late with my front cross after a 180. Do you have some tips for me? I'd like to improve on that. And ask them what they think you should be working on. There's a lot that cannot be addressed in a class scenario. I do a lot of troubleshooting these days, online and in person. I'm a very detail-orientated teacher, and I hear all the time, I don't get this in my class. I don't get this from my instructor. And I'm able to say, I don't teach this in a class. A class is a fact-finding mission. The class exposes what needs work on outside of class. You may be surprised at the information that your current instructor can give you about your current place and your future place in your training program. So that's just an idea. Do some more learning about what you need. My gosh, if you'd like to be a different competitor coming into 2023, there's all kinds of courses, short, long, complicated stuff on YouTube about upping your game as a competitor, being the competitor you want to be. What does that competitor look like? What does that agility competitor look like? What does that regular competitor look like? And spend some of this rainy time that you might normally be spending driving to agility class, maybe not cleaning out the closets, maybe not catching up on your filing, maybe sitting down at a desk and learning some handling techniques, learning some training techniques, learning how to clean up some of the stuff that's in your way as a competitor. So those are just my ideas for rainy day learning for people. Rainy day training for dogs, inside training things you can do in a small space include travel board work, shortboard, travel for contacts, running or 2 on 2 off. I made a list. Fitness equipment. You've got those Bosa balls and those Versa discs. Using your fitness equipment for yourself and your dog. Keep your dog toned, keep them entertained, practice good training habits, placement of reward, rate of reinforcement, send cues, stay cues. I already talked about catch up to me, me being moving with engagement, come to my leg, stay on my leg, whether I'm moving or not. Verbal, I believe we can teach dogs how to listen better by giving them verbal cues. I love sit, down, stand, left, right. So I can just stand in neutral or sit in neutral and let my dog practice listening. Good boy. Left. Good job. That's it. Sit. Good. Down. and working through verbal drill exercises, find games, nose work. What a better time to start nose work training online, or contact a nose work instructor in your area. Maybe you're waiting for a class. Maybe they could give you a little Zoom lesson, little private lesson to get you going. Find games with their toys, their balls, hide it under the couch. You know, that's great work for your sit stay or your mark work. Have your dog hanging out on his mark while you hide his bolly, and then let him look for it. How about grooming? Could your dog use some better manners and habits around grooming? When a lot of times I'm grooming when I'm kind of in a hurry, and I'm not taking that time to make it a kind and loving, wonderful experience for the dog. So getting your cookies out, and maybe changing that dog's mind about how he currently feels about being brushed or getting his nails done. That's it. That's it. Finding some good fun training games, some mental stimulation, as well as doing the learning that you normally don't have time for. Study, if you've got an online course that you appealed to you, and it was packed. My online courses are let's just say more than once I've heard there's so much information, it's a little overwhelming. Maybe a rainy day is a good time to digest some of those training messages that will serve you well beyond the individual desired task that you originally bought the program for. So I hope that helps. I hope you stay dry. I've had people call, what do I do with this young, energetic dog and all this rain? And I say, I got 2 words for you: Gore-Tex and a flashlight. You might have heard that before. So I have some good Herta rain jackets, and I kind of like being bundled up. I have good rain gear, and my dogs don't mind. They do not mind being out in the rain, and I've learned to love it on their behalf. So until we meet again, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.